Good afternoon, everybody. Praise the Lord. I thank the Lord for blessing me to be here this afternoon to come and share a word with you this afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. I give God praise and honor and glory, and I just thank Him for what all He have done for us and how He have blessed us in the midst of this storm, in the midst of this war that's going on. Because one thing I do know, everybody's fighting in this war, not just one person, not just a certain group, but everybody's fighting in this war. And we have to continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? Stay obedient. You know what I'm saying? Obey the law of the land. The things that they tell you to do, like wearing the mask and different things. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. You know what I'm saying? Obey the law of the land. Do what you're being told to do. I just wanted to come and give you a word today from the Lord. 1 Samuel 15:2. Where it said, "Thus said the Lord of hosts." I remember that. I'm going to give you a little background on this. This was talking about where Saul, God had gave Saul an order and told him what he wanted him to do. He wanted him to carry out this order that he gave him. And Saul, we're going to get over into it. Saul didn't do what God told him to do. But that's the way it is. When God tells us to do something, we have to do it. It may not sound right, it may not look right, but we still have to do what God is called us to do. So the second verse of 1 Samuel 15 is that, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he lay wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite the Amalekites and utterly destroy all they have, and spare them not, but slay both man, woman, infant, and suckling, ox, and sheep, and camel, and donkey." You know what I'm saying? God was had told Samuel what to tell Saul, what he wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? Take them all out, because God know the end from the beginning. God know what they were going to do if he continued them to exist. So he had to take them out of the picture a lot of time. And when different countries back then were doing things that God wasn't pleasing, God would take them out. You know what I'm saying? He would take the whole nation out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he wanted Saul to do. But Saul disobeyed him. And now go, in verse 3, it said, "Now go and smite the Amalekites and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, and infant, suckling, ox, and sheep, camel, and donkey." And Saul gathered the peoples together and numbered them in Elohim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of the Ammonites, and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Canaanite, "Go, depart, and get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them." You see, that's why you have to be careful about who you hang with. Because you don't know if they disobeying God, or they're out of the will of God. They doing some God ain't pleased with. Because when judgment come on them, it gonna come on you too. So you have to be careful about who that you surround yourself with. Is this person that I'm hanging with, or this person that I'm around, is they following God? Or is they not? I got to make sure. I got to pray about this thing. I got to make sure that they're following God. Because whenever God's judgment fall, I don't want it to fall on me. And then say, and Saul said unto the Canaanite, "Go, depart, get down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you shown kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt." So now, the Canaanite departed from the Amalekites. I'm saying they had to get away from them, because Saul was getting ready to take them out. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you surround yourself around people, when you get around people, make sure that these people that you surround yourself with, make sure that they are walking with God. Make sure that if you're a Christian, make sure that they are walking with God. You know what I'm saying? Because if they are not, God's judgment gonna fall on you too. And then said, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Hebron unto thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag the king. This is what he's saying. God told him what he wanted him to do. He told him to go in and destroy. He took the king, Agag the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroy all the peoples with the edge of the sword. You know what I'm saying? He took Agag, you understand, the king. And when God done told him what he wanted him to do, he wanted him to destroy him. Because God know down the road what they was going to do if they didn't take him out. But Saul disobeyed. When Saul got in the midst of the battle, he changed the order. You understand? He didn't do he did what he wanted to do. He didn't do what God told him to do. And that's what we got a lot of leaders today is doing the same thing. They don't got in the midst. They don't got out there, and got all popular, however you say it. Don't got all out there, like they all dissing a bag of chips. And they don't change the order. Then God telling them to tell the people to repent and turn back there. No. If I tell them that, they are not going to pay no tithes. They are not going to come back if I tell them that. No, I'm just going to say, y'all got to do better than what y'all doing. And you got people that coming into the church on Sunday morning. They just fell out the club. You understand? They standing up in the prayer line to get prayer, and all you saying, just keep on praying. So, Pastor, I just need prayer. I'm going through this here, and I'm doing this. Just keep on praying. Everything gonna be all right. Just keep on praying. No, you need to tell them what God is giving you. To tell them to repent and turn back to Him. Cause God is angry. He is angry with His leaders because they are not doing what He told them to do. You understand? He told them to tell his people to turn back to him, and they are not doing it. Saul disobeyed God. He didn't do what God told him to do. Saul is the leader. Saul is the king. You understand? He was the king, and he didn't do it. You understand? He didn't do it. And in verse 11, it said, this is what God said. It repented me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he have turned back from following me. You know what I'm saying? He said, it repented me that I even picked him. Because he don't turn his back from following me. He's gone after doing what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening to the leaders today. They don't go on doing what they want to do. They're not doing what God have called them to do. So that's why God have did things, that things don't happen the way it don't happen. He don't shut the doors on the church. He don't shut them down. He have shut the doors on the church. You understand? He don't shut it down. You understand? Because the leaders are not, the people, it's a war going on, and the people's not even ready for it. And it's another war is coming. And the peoples are not ready for it. All they did is talking about this money. All they did is the peoples are not working, and they still asking for money. They're still begging for money. Still begging for money, and ain't nobody working. And they still asking for money. You understand? It's all about the money. If God gave you that building, if God told you to build that building, wouldn't He give you the finances to take care of the building? You understand? Wouldn't He give you the money to take care of the building? To pay the bills? Wouldn't He do that? You understand? So why are you not trusting God for this thing to be done? Why are you not trusting Him? Why you're robbing the peoples? You understand? Why you just draining them dry? You understand? God told me to tell you this, that He's finna pay you a visit. So get ready, because He's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's finna visit you. You understand? Because you have disobeyed Him. You have not prepared His people. You understand? For what is about to come. You know, the thing that is coming up on the earth, you hadn't prepared the people for it. You understand? You doing what you want to do, or what pleased you, and God is angry. You understand? Saul was doing the thing that he wanted to do. In verse 14, he said, and Samuel said, in verse 13, he said, and Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of sheep in my ear, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? Well, what is this I'm hearing? If you obeyed, you know what I'm saying, what was said, what I told you, what is this I'm hearing? If you did what you was told to do. You understand? The leaders is not doing what God told them to do. And that's what causing the peoples, they don't know what to do, which way to turn. They've been up in, and then they call for the pastor, no, pastor, I can't pay my rent right now. Could you help me right now? You can't even get the pastors on the phone. You can't get them now. You can't get them on the phone because you asking for help. You understand? I heard one pastor say, well, don't look to me, I can't do it. We got people that don't stay in your church for 20, 30, and 40 years. You understand? And they call on you to help them, and now you can't help them. But you sitting all fat. You understand? And the people, your peoples, you said, need help, and you can't even help them. But people, you better listen to me. You better go before God for yourself and stop listening to these leaders. You understand? Leading you out of the will of God. You understand? Got you lifting them up. You know, I talked with a lady in the store, and I asked her, you know, I said, what church do you go to? And she told me, she said, well, we trying to I'm trying to get something for my pastor's birthday, you know. I said, okay. I'm trying to get something for my pastor. Yeah, it's my pastor. I think anniversary or birthday, one time it was going on, getting ready to take place. And she was telling me, you know, I'm trying to get, you know, something for my pastor's birthday. I said, okay. And so she was just talking, but she never, you know, God didn't even come up in the picture. I'm like, okay, her pastor. So what she was doing was she was lifting up her pastor. You understand? But in the book of John, if I'm not mistaken, John, the 12th chapter, and in the 12th chapter, in the 32nd verse, where it said, Jesus said, and if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. So wait a minute now. She lifting up her pastor. He can't draw nobody. You understand? Jesus said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. So what happened here? There's been a switch. You understand? The peoples are lifting up their pastor, their apostle, their bishop, their teachers. You understand? They lifting up them, but they're not lifting up God. They're not lifting up him. They're serving their pastor. You understand? They're not serving God. I just give you an example. It's like, you see somebody like they at the store, you know, somebody at the store, they getting ready to go, so they see pastor coming. And they said, well, give me your jacket. I don't want pastor to see me looking like, give me your jacket. You know what I'm saying? She got the jacket and covered up herself, okay? And the pastor came up and said, hey, sister, how you doing? Doing good, pastor. Doing good. How the family doing? Doing good, pastor. They doing good. You coming to church tonight? Yeah, pastor. I be there. I'm trying to get old Bubba to come. You know, I be there. Okay. Well, all right, then I see you tonight. Well, his backslidden self, he had not picked up on nothing in the spirit. He didn't know nothing what was going on. You understand what I'm saying? Now, who she serving? Who she serving? You understand? She serving pastor, because she reverence pastor, but she don't reverence God. She did not reverence God. She don't care how God sees, you know, looking, how she look, or herself all hanging out, or whatever. She don't reverence God, but she reverence pastor. You know, so she honor him. Now who she serving? Okay. Now won't pastor see me looking, then won't pastor see her looking like that. You understand? But that was a lot of people think that they're serving God, but they're not. They're serving pastor. You understand? Everything that pastor said do, they'll do it. And just like God called you to preach the gospel, right? He called you to preach the gospel. Instead of you doing what God have called you to do, you'll go the order that God gave you. God gave you an order. And the order that he gave you, what did you do? What did you do with the order? You took the order and you gave it to pastor and sat down. You didn't go and do what God called you to do. You trying to about to have a rake, trying to get to that building on Sunday morning. And you passing all these peoples. You understand? At Walmart, different stores, you passing by. You stopping, all these people just passing by them, trying to get to this building. You passing the church. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get to this building. They want somebody just a word, you know, from the Lord. Just tell me something. I know I'm going through. People committing suicide. They doing all this stuff because they don't know what. And people are dying and going to hell because of you sitting up in church with this, sitting up in that building with that word in your belly. You understand? People are dying. You know what I'm saying? Because they need that word that you got in your belly and you just sitting there with it. You understand? God gonna deal with you because of it. He's going to deal with you. You understand? Because he told you to go preach his gospel. You know what I'm saying? When he told his disciples, when he told them to go preach his gospel, he didn't tell them they had to go get permission from the Pharisees. He didn't tell them that. You know, you ain't got to go commit. He didn't tell me you had to go get permission from the Pharisees to go preach my gospel. He said, go preach my gospel. He said, go into all the world and preach my gospel. You understand? And God had rejected. God rejected Saul. He just didn't have nothing else to do with it. And chapter 28. Chapter 28. Chapter 28 in verse 6. 28 and verse 6. It said, and when Saul required of the Lord answered him not, neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophet. He wouldn't even talk to him. He wouldn't even say that. He was through with him. He was through. He had rejected him. He was still in the position. He was still king. He was still in the position, but he had no power. And we have a lot of leaders like that today. They're in these positions, but they don't have no power. You know, they professing but not possessing. They don't have no power. You understand? And the people just sitting in there, sitting in these buildings. You understand? I call them funeral homes. They're sitting up in there and nothing going on. Nothing. You understand? That's going here all this jumping and running around in the church and hooping and hollering and and all this stuff here. You know, ain't nobody getting healed. Nobody getting delivered. Nobody getting saved. All they doing is joining the church. You understand? And the unsaved, the church folks, you understand, they be in the club partying too. You understand? They be, and then the unsaved said, well, if they can do this here, and then they say, well, I can deal with that, I can hang with that too. And, you know, I'm saved too. You know what I'm saying? But the leaders is not telling the people what God have told them, what God is telling them to tell the people. They are not telling them. That's what causing the people to not to do right. So what can the leaders tell the people to do? And when they doing the same thing that the people are doing, that the members are doing, they doing the same thing. They fornicating, they lying, they breaking peace. You understand? They doing all this stuff too. So they can't tell the people not to do it. They can't tell the members not to do it, and they doing it. They can't tell the women not to fornicate or not to commit adultery because they doing it too. They got the wife on one side, they got the sweetheart on the other side. What you say? Yeah. All this is going on in the house. You know what I'm saying? So what can they tell the members? They can't tell the members nothing. Because they're doing the same thing the members doing. But God said he finna pay you a visit. Just get ready. He finna pay you a visit. You understand? And the peoples the peoples are being, they don't know what to do, which way to turn. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what to do. They going through some things right now. You know what I'm saying? They need someone to talk to. There is no one. They think there's no one to talk to because they've been talking to pastor all these years. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what. No, should I go to God? God ain't gonna hear me because I'm doing all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They know they can't get the pastor on the phone. Pastor won't even talk to them. Why? Because they ain't working to bring the money. You understand? They ain't bringing the money in. And then he'll get on the thing, started preaching. You know, we still need help. You know, you need to try to pay your tithes if you can. What? Don't you see the nation shut down? Don't you see the whole world shut down? Nobody got no money. No money. Still trying to bleed the people. Still trying to get money out of the people. You know? Still trying to do the same thing that you were doing inside the building. God said he's finna pay you a visit. Just get ready. He's coming. He's finna pay you a visit. You understand? Think it's a joke. He's finna pay you a visit. And it's not going to be no long time coming. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be no long time coming. He's finna visit you. You understand? Because you have not prepared his people for his coming. You hadn't prepared them for his coming. You know what I'm saying? This thing is coming. You didn't even know it, that it was coming. You didn't even know nothing. You didn't know that it was coming. You didn't know it. You understand? Because God ain't speaking to you no more. He ain't even speaking to you. You understand? The people have to suffer. The people is suffering because God is not speaking to you no more. You still in the pulpit. You still in the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? You still preaching across the pulpit because the gift comes without repentance. You still preaching, but there's no power. There's no power. There's no power there. You know what I'm saying? You're just going through the motion on something you used to have. You're just going through the motion. God is angry. He is angry because you have not prepared his peoples. You understand? He was sending you warning that this storm was coming. This warning that this storm was coming. You understand? But you like, you know, like, what is this? You know, and they didn't even tell the peoples. You wouldn't even share with the people what you was seeing, what you was listening to. You wouldn't even share it to the people. You wouldn't share the people. You understand? But it's all about the money. If I tell them this here, they probably won't come back next Sunday and the offering will be low. God is angry. God is angry. You know, the leaders want the recognition of being lifted up. You understand? They want to be lifted up. You understand? They don't want to talk about God, because if we talk about God, we have to lift him up. But if we talk about me, they're going to lift me up. God is angry. He is angry. He says he's coming. He said he's coming, not no long time. He said he's coming. Get ready, he's coming. You understand? And everybody going to know that he been there. Don't think he's going to do it in secret. No, you didn't do it. What you did, you didn't do it in secret. He's not going to do what he going to do in secret. You understand? Everybody going to know that God been there. Yeah. Everybody's going to know it. So you get yourself ready. Because God is getting ready to pay you a visit. Now, y'all have a blessed afternoon. And I pray that y'all just keep praying and stay safe. And I love you guys.